Tech lovers! Welcome back to Fast Cabling. Today we're tackling what seems like an impossible request from one of our clients. So he owns these two buildings, 180 meters apart. He needs a surveillance system. But here's the kicker. Some of his cameras needs to be 200 meters away, and some need to be a whopping 350 meters out. So it's like trying to power and get a signal from a device over 3 football fields away. The classic Ethernet limits of 100 meters, it just died a painful death here. So how do we solve this? Let's dive into the genius solution that made this work. And the heart of this operation is this piece, our 16-port long-range WebSmart PoE switch, and we're placing one of these at each building. Now the client initially thought 180 meters between buildings, let's just run a thick copper cable. And we said, whoa, wait. Let's talk about why fiber optic is the only way to go here, even for this distance. First, professionalism and future-proofing. This setup isn't just for today's cameras. What about tomorrow's 8K streams or additional high-bandwidth sensors? Fiber handles 10 gig and beyond effortlessly. Copper at these distances, even for 1 gig, is pushing its limits and is susceptible to interference. Second, safety. Running copper between two separate buildings can create ground potential differences, especially during a lightning storm. That's a great way to fry your expensive switches. Fiber is immune to electrical surges and lightning. It carries lights, not electricity. So for the backbone link between buildings, it's fiber all the way. Solid, safe, and ready for anything. And now for the camera themselves. This switch is a Swiss Army knife for long-distance PoE. It has two main modes of operation, and which one you use depends on one thing: distance. So for camera less than 250 meters away, we can use port number 1 through 8. But here's the trade-off. To reach that 250 meters mark, we have to configure this port via the built-in web interface to run at 10 megabit per second instead of 100 megabit per second. But for a surveillance camera stream, 10M is often perfectly sufficient. So now let me show you how easy this is. So let's say this is building A. We have our 16-port long-range WebSmart PoE switch, and we're using this SFP module to plug into the SFP slot so we can connect with our fiber optic cable. Now, we are using this pre-made 2-string fiber optic cable, single-mode LC connector, and it has label on each string. Let's use string B. And since this is pre-made, so we just plug and play. Easy. And at building A, we're connecting to our network video recorder, so I'm using this short patch cord to connect to the Ethernet port and to the NVR. But see this? The indicator lights isn't on. Why? These are the combo ports. They can accept either a standard RJ45 Ethernet cable or an SFP module for fiber. They're super flexible for your uplink, but be careful. You can only use one of the two options per combo port at a time. So we have to switch it to port 18 down here. Now, if you plug in an RJ45 cable, the SFP slot is disabled and vice versa. So don't try to use both. Now we can see the light is on. Let's follow our fiber optic cable all the way to building B. At building B, we have another 16-port WebSmart PoE switch. We're doing the same thing. Plug in our SFP module and make sure you pick the right string, which is string B. The other string, we can leave it for spare. So just plug it in. Now we are connected. And at building B, we're connecting to a bullet camera. So let me plug in port 7 here and connect it with our bullet camera. Now, since our camera is over 200 meters, so that's why we need to use the computer. Remember? The web interface to downgrade to 10 megabit per second. So let's plug it into our switch here. Here we use a browser accessing the switch IP address. So type in our username and password. Now navigating to the port setting. Now remember, we use port number 7, so click on port number 7. And for the speed, we can change it from auto to 10 megabit per second. And a simple click of apply. And that's it. Now let's look at port number 7. We already changed it to 10 meg. Now let's take a look at our big screen monitor. Now you made that change for each port connecting to a sub 250 meters camera. The switch sacrifices a bit of speed to buy you a lot more distances. So we took care of the 200 meters cameras, but what about our champions? The cameras 350 meters out. For this, we use port number 9 through 16, our long-range port, and we have to pair it with the PoE extender. There are 2 included with switch. It can push both power and data an incredible 500 meters. That's half a kilometer. And the extender acts like a relay station, boosting the signal so it can make that marathon all the way. So now let's connect with our Ethernet cable. Let's plug it into one of the long-range ports. They're marked green. Port 15 here. And right next to our pan-tilt zoom camera, we're going to place our extender. I'm taking out the neck and the gland for faster installation, but when you do it, make sure you use a wrench to fasten it tightly because it's IP67 waterproof rated. You can even bury it underground. Now we can see input and output. So let's plug the input port with the switch and use the output port to connect with our pan-tilt zoom camera. It also has a special mounting tool, so it allows you to mount it as close as you can with the pan-tilt zoom camera. So once we plug it in, we can see our PTZ camera is working already. So it's getting both power and data. Now a critical reality check, the extender extends the data only. It does not create new power out of thin air. The power still comes from the switch port itself, and this is where understanding your power budget is non-negotiable. The switch is a powerhouse. So I'm waving my hand so you can see both of our cameras are working perfectly. But here's the catch. The switch has a total power budget of 225 watts. You cannot run all the ports at max power simultaneously. You have to add up the power requirement of every connected cameras and devices to make sure it doesn't exceed 225 watts. Forget this math and your cameras just won't turn on. Also, to deliver that high PoE, we have port number 1 through number 4. Those are the PoE++ port. They uses all 4 pairs of the wires inside the Ethernet cable, not just 2. And this is the 802.3 BT standard, often called PoE++. This is why we always recommend using pure copper Ethernet cable, not CCA. CCA cables have higher resistance, which means power loss over long distances, and they can overheat with high PoE load. So for a reliable, safe install, pure copper is the only choice. So we've solved the distance and power, but our job isn't done. We're installing electronics outdoors, and outdoors means lightning, power surges, static buildup. So this is non-negotiable. you must use surge protectors. And for indoor equipments, like where your switch connects to the camera, we can use this 8-port indoor gigabit surge protector. It's your last line of defense for your core indoor gear, stopping surges that comes in through the cables. So let's place it right next to our switch. This is our indoor gear. Now make sure you ground your surge protector all the way. And let's unplug the cable from our switch here. And now, instead of plugging it to the switch, we have to plug it into our surge protector. Now this is input and output port. We are connecting our cameras to the input port because this is where all the long Ethernet cables comes in. So let's plug it to port number 6 and number 7. Now the surge will come in here and then lead to the ground. Then we use another Ethernet cable, connect the output port, so now we can get clean energy out to our switch. Port 6 and port 7, we have to match the ports. And now let's connect it back to our switch. So we have port 7 and port 15, which is our long range port. So our indoor protection is done, but for any outdoor one, especially a cable enters a building, is exposed, you need this. This is our outdoor gigabit PoE surge protector. Now this thing is a tank. It has an IP67 rating, meaning it's completely dust tight and can withstand temporary immersion in water, and is built with stainless steel housing to survive rain, snow, and heat. It connects right into our camera run, and it will sacrifice itself to shunt a massive voltage spike safely to the ground before it ever reaches your precious cameras and switch. And we have to place it right next to our PTZ camera here to protect our cameras. Now when you do the surge protector, make sure you do both sides, indoor and outdoor. Today we are not connecting to the outdoor one, but we have the indoor one already attached. And one more thing, all our surge protectors support PoE++ standard. That means the latest 802.3 BT standard. So let's take a look at our cameras. They're still working fine after connected to the surge protector. So there you have it. From an impossible distance problem to a rock-solid, future-proof surveillance system. It's not just about plugging in gear. It's about engineering a solution that lasts. Now, if you face a crazy networking challenge, tell us about it in the comment section below. And if you found this deep dive helpful, please smash that like button and subscribe for more tech solution that breaks the limit. Thank you very much for joining us, and I'll see you in our next video.